Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rob and I have left Zion behind and just arrived at Bryce Canyon National Park, and I'm going to go and hike into the canyon and show you what you can do if you have one hike that you want to do when you visit Bryce Canyon. Just to be complete disclosure, it's December and it's really wintry here. It's freezing cold. I'm so cold I need to put my coat on. But you can just see, like, even in front of the welcome sign, it's super icy and slick, so just bear that in mind. So I've just parked my car at the Sunset Point trailhead. It's so quiet here, there's hardly anybody around, and it's so pretty. There's a dusting of snow. There is a little bit of ice on the trail, so I've got my spikes with me just in case. But otherwise, this is a 2.9 mile loop hike where you hike from the rim. So you've got Sunset Point and Sunrise Point on the rim, and you can join them up basically and hike down into Bryce Canyon, which is always, for me, just such a cool hike. It's very immersive, very unique. Like the geological formations and stuff are just something that you can't see anywhere else. But I'll just show you a little bit of the trail conditions today. You can see there's some snow and some ice, but the pathways at the moment not too bad. And I'm just coming up to the canyon now. So you can see Wall Street's currently closed, which is normal for winter. And this is where the Navajo loop starts. So 1.3 miles down into the canyon this way. Oh, and that's where I'm going to start my hike. But just over here you can see, just from this viewpoint, a sneaky peek into Bryce Canyon. It's absolutely gorgeous, covered in snow. All of the red rock in the distance there, really cool. On this side, where the sun's been on it a little bit more, you can see there's not as much snow. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hiking down here. And eventually I'll be on this side and I'll hike up to this point, which is Sunrise Point. And then I can walk back along the rim trail to the car. I was actually just reading the information board and I've made a decision. I am going to hike from the Sunrise Point down and then come back up to Sunset Point. And the reason for this is, every time I've done this hike, I've done it this way. And I just read the sign and I was like, oh yeah, why don't I? They actually say on the sign, we recommend you start at. And then it just got me thinking. I was like, yeah, maybe I should do that, because I always do it the same way otherwise. So it's nice to go a different route. But yeah, you can just have a little peek again just from here down into the canyon. It looks so cool. Even just along the rim walk here, it's really pretty and offers some great views down into Bryce Canyon. Now, these paths would be full in the summertime of people, but it's so quiet. There's hardly anybody about. So here is the trailhead for the Queen's Garden Trail. So I'm going to head down here and then connect up in the valley and come back up the Navajo Loop Trail. So I'm going to start descending into the canyon now. So heading down into the canyon, I can see why they recommend that you do it this way, because all the other times that I've done it, I've come up this and it's quite a slog, to be honest. It's quite a long uphill section. So I'm guessing by doing it the other way, it's a bit shorter and sweet. So whilst it's still going to be obviously a climb up, I'm guessing it's easier, but I'll let you know when I get there. There's a few more people on the trail now as well. Like, there's not many people up at the rim, but there seems to be quite a lot, well, a few people that have passed by down here in the canyon itself. But as I said, it's a kind of an off-peak time to come here. It's early December. It's not the Christmas holidays break yet. But it is cold. It is Sunday, so I think if you were to come on a weekday, it'd be even quieter. I noticed on the way in as well, a lot of like the gas stations and like food places and stuff like that are closed. So I assume most of them, especially in the towns preceding the park, must be only open in that early time of the year. Sorry, in the summer time of the year, and close, you know, around September. But I'll just pan the camera around and you can see how awesome these hoodoos are. So these things are called hoodoos, I believe. And yeah, they're like red sandstone, and then you've got these ponderosa pines just like sprouting out in between. It's so alien, I guess. Very, very unique. So like eerily quiet here. It's kind of creepy. Like there's people, but you just look out and you just can tell that it's like this vast wilderness with so little life out there in the winter, at least. And I don't know, when you're in like forested places like Yosemite and Yellowstone, like, I don't know, because you can't see it, you feel like there's more going on there. But I think because you can see so much open space, you know, the trees and the foliage is quite few and far between, and yeah, it's kind of eerie, but really, really cool. So the trail down so far has been pretty straightforward. It's been a very easy hike down. It's not so steep that you need to bring poles, in my opinion, but of course if you're somebody who suffers with bad knees or something, they might be advantageous. But yeah, I just love it. I just find this hike, I don't know, there's something very special about it. There's no other park that has this, and it just feels very like special and unique just to here. Like it's not, you know, you can't replace it and experience it in any other place. But yeah, look at this. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from the UK where we don't have desert and, you know, I live in a town. But I find this fascinating. It's just endless sea of sandstone. It just mesmerises me. These are the trail signs that you want to look out for. There's not too many of them, but when you spot them, they are handy. I haven't found in the past that I've lost the trail as such, but it is handy to keep an eye on where you're going. So the horse trail is this way, basically. It looks like it's pointing that way, but it's actually there. That's the horse trail. And if you want to take the Sunset Point trail, you're actually going to head just down here. so marsh in here. So one thing that I've really noticed is how much warmer it is here in the canyon. Like, it was freezing cold on the rim. Like, I had my coat on, my puffy coat, and I was so cold. I had gloves on, everything. And now I'm down here, it's really warm. It's probably not like boiling hot warm, but considering I'm not going uphill or anything, I've been downhill and then flat. I'm not in a sweat or anything from hiking. So yeah, very, very balmy. So yeah, layers are definitely key this time of year. I think looking up at these hoodoos really gives you the gravity of the height of them and the amount of time it must have taken them for them to form. So interesting. Like, every single one has got like a unique shape. No two are the same. And the colours, there's some white, there's some orange, there's some red, some grey, all with that piercing blue sky behind it. It's amazing. So just through this little tunnel, there's another trail sign. So Queen Victoria is straight up. So I'm heading for the Navajo loop and the Peekaboo loop and Sunset Point, which is going to come through here. So if I remember rightly, there's this cool canyon with this dry creek bed for this section. This is where you get a little bit of shade. You can see here in this shaded section, the trail's kind of icy, but because there's been some footsteps on it, there's some sand that's spread, and that's kind of helping. I haven't had to put my spikes on yet, but I've definitely used them here in the past. So always worth keeping them in your bag if you visit during winter. I especially love this little section of the trail. So this is where the Navajo loop and the Queen's Garden Trail link up, and it's kind of like it's probably got a name, but I don't know the name of this trail. But it's like 0.8 miles where you sort of connect the two trails up and you come right into the canyon. Now, obviously it probably does go a lot lower down than this, but you can see, you feel like you're in like the bed of the canyon because you've got some sort of foliage patches. There's a few more trees. I can imagine at certain times of the year there's a bit of like water flowing, some wildlife, and I just love it. You feel there's a Stella's blue jay over there as well, which is really cool. And I saw some deer on my drive into the park, which was awesome. Like, I'm crossing through this now, which is like a dry stream bed. I've never ever seen a stream there, but I think it's cool anyway. And yeah, I just like this bit. This is the bit where you feel like you're far away from like the rim and stuff. A bit like, not like when I've done like the river in the Grand Canyon, like rim to rim. That was a bit different and a lot longer, but still really cool. Oh, here's the Stella's blue jay. He's come to say hi. They're a bird that I always associate with Yosemite because I always see so many of them there. He's not hanging around there. Hey, friend. He's hiding now. Yeah, this section of the trail is slick for sure. feel like this is a section where you kind of feel like you could be in a different national park. Like, it's so strange because obviously the main thing of Bryce Canyon is the canyon and the hoodoos. It's not a massive park, you know, geographically. But when you see like the forest, like next to me, and you can't see anything else other than the forest, and then like there is some hoodoos in the background, but if you don't focus on those, it kind of is like Yosemite in a weird way, because it's those pond rows of pine trees, and obviously in Yosemite you've got a bit of granite, but otherwise there is this like dirt trail. And yeah, I have like, if you watch this channel a lot, you know I go to Yosemite all the time, and sometimes I go there so often I need a break, and just because otherwise I don't want to do the same thing every day. But I'm at one of those points now where, because the last visit I had was like super rainy and it was really cool, like really moody and atmospheric, but I am ready for, I'll rephrase that. I'm really looking forward to the spring and the summer when I can go back and do like my big alpine hikes up on like Tiger Road and stuff. So yeah, absence makes the heart grow fonder, they say. So yeah, it's giving me little feels for it. But I am actually heading to Yosemite in January for a few days, and I'm hoping to do a bit of winter backpacking, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. But yeah, I'll just pan the camera and show you my view. Look at this, it's so pretty. And you can hear like just a few birds chirping away. And there's the sun breaking through the pine trees. So right above, just up here, is Sunset Point, and there's actually people up there. It looks so far and so high away. I'm suddenly reevaluating my life choices. I've taken this alternative counterclockwise, no, clockwise way, but we'll see. So I'm now on the 0.6 mile section, which is all uphill. There's some really intense switchbacks coming up as well, but they're pretty cool because you're in the sandstone, and with the way the lighting is, it makes you feel like everything's kind of red. So I quite like that. And I think this is the final sign for Sunset Point. And into the Orange Canyon we go. It's so echoey. I don't know if you could hear that, but I don't want to shout because I'll scare people. So this is the start of the switchbacks I told you about. So I'm just going to show you what they're like. Not quite as bad as Walter's Wiggles on Angel's Landing, but you can see they cut through there, and that's not even the top. But there it is. So cool. And very, like, one of those photos that I think is quite iconic of this trail. just come from this way. Wow, so that's that section done and dusted, kippers and custard. It's not that bad, but of course my heart rate's up and I'm a little bit out of breath. But yeah, after that bit, I can see why they've said this now, because I think that's really steep, but the rest of it's not. Whereas that other way, the more I think about it, I felt like I was going up for a long time when I did that. Not as steeply, but more prolonged. Maybe it's also because of the sun, I don't know. But anyway, I've done what they've said. So I'm just coming up this last push here. Now you can see it can be very muddy. It is a bit clay actually, clay-like. But I think because it's still cold, it's not too bad. I can imagine in the spring it's horrendous. And you can see some ice on the trail. Nothing too bad. But again, when I've done it before, this has been very slick because it's so exposed. Oh, wrong button. If I just pan the camera up, you can see there's all this blue sky, which means that when it's snowing, the snow can fall quite easily and there's not much sunlight to melt it. So I'm heading up now. That's another view back into the canyon. That's quite cool because you can see some shadows from the hoodoos being cast there, which is quite cool. I like that. And then you can just see some people just up here, yeah. And that is Sunset Point, the end point of my hike. It's not too far to go at all. So just near the top now, you can see the view down into the canyon. So I was down in this forested section when I was telling you about how cool it was, and you can see some of the trail in the distance. I think some of that might be the horse trail. And then it's really easy to spot Sunset Point and the last switchbacks up. On the way up, you also spot Wall Street, which is just off this way, but it's actually closed in winter, but it'll be open in the summer. And here we are, back at Sunset Point. And there you have it, guys. It's a small park, and if you're going to visit, that's the hike you have to do. Now, that took me 1 hour and 10 minutes. It was 2.7 miles, and I did 1,500 feet of elevation change, so pretty straightforward, short hike. And I've coupled this today. I actually was in Zion this morning and I did Angel's Landing, so just to give you some perspective on like how I've spent my day. I always kind of, because I find Bryce is a small park, Zion's a small park, and I never get to go in the summer, so I don't do the Narrows obviously in the winter, so I always find that it works better for me to do like half a day in each park, and then that way I get to tick off 2 national parks in one trip. But I don't come to Utah that often, so you know, I have to make the most of it. Earlier this year I did do a road trip over 3 days where I went to Zion, Bryce and Arches National Park, so check out the video on the channel if you'd like to see some of Arches, and there's loads of videos about Angel's Landing and Zion on this channel as well, so make sure you check them out. I've just come back to the car now and there's some really nice toilets. Always nice to have a proper toilet, you know, with proper water and soap and flush. But they also have some water spigots in there, so I'm just going to pan the camera so you can see. So I'm parked just here. That's the Sunset Point is there. I literally crossed through. Here's my car. And then in the restrooms there, in that main green door that lady's coming out of, that's the entrance for male and female. And that's where the water bottle refill station is. And there's some trash cans and all that good stuff, and some picnic tables as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to head to the visitor centre just to have a little look before I go. But yeah, make sure you're liked and subscribed. This is always my downfall when I come into these shops, is the merch. I love this little case, but I have like an addiction to buying them, and I have so many of them. But I haven't seen this one before and I really want it. But I'm going to have to restrain myself because I have no purpose for it, but I want it. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff in here. There's lots of the sort of standard little bits and bobs like Christmas ornaments and stuff, t-shirts, water bottles, stickers, magnets. But yeah, there's some cool little things. Like these tea towels are quite cool, and there's some tote bags. They seem to be all the rage at the moment. But yeah. These are amazing, by the way. I have the glacier one of this. These puffy blankets are so good. They keep you warm. I got mine in REI, and they've got loads of different national parks. It's like the kiddie section, and there's some books and stuff with some information on geology, wildlife, trails, that kind of good stuff. So I'm out of the visitor centre, guys, and I did refrain myself. I picked up the tiniest little sticker for my water bottle, which I'll show you now. But the one, I didn't have a Bryce on there, and I haven't got much space, so I picked up a little one, and I got some hand warmers for my trip to Yosemite next month. I've also got a trip actually to the Pacific Northwest next week, where it's probably going to be really cold, and I was freezing last time, so it's probably a good idea to stock up. But I'm going to show you my water bottle before I go, because I just want to show you with my new stickers on. I'm going to give you the full tour. So I've got Saguaro, obviously Yosemite, because it wouldn't be mine without a Yosemite sticker, and Mount Rainier, because I go there loads and I love that park. I've got Sequoia, Yellowstone, which is one of my faves, the North Cascades, which is absolutely massive, Glacier, which again, I'm obsessed with. I love all these places. Rocky Mountain National Park, Joshua Tree, Death Valley, the Tetons, Arches, Zion, and now Bryce Canyon's finally been added. But yeah, I know it looks really messy and they're all overlapping, but I didn't stick with getting small ones. I started getting big ones and it got crazy. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. This park is a big park, actually. I said in the comments earlier in the video, you know, that it's a small park. It is a small park compared to some other parks, but there's more to this park than just the amphitheatre, which is where I just did that hike today. But that's the most popular area, and that's the area that in the winter that's the most accessible. But there is other trails. There's lots of wilderness hiking, there's bike riding, there's loads of other cool stuff here. So there's a lot to offer in Bryce. I always seem to catch it in the winter, and I always do the same thing, but I just love it and it's fun and I enjoy it. But I will endeavour to come back. I really want to camp here, actually, so I'm going to try and come back when it's a bit warmer and camp. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment below, because it really helps my channel out. And there's loads of content on this channel over the years, so make sure you check out some of my other videos too. And I'll see you guys in the next video very soon.